Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I'm going to be showing and reviewing the Redtiger ViewClear 70. Now I've been using this dash cam for the past week and I have got to say I do really like using it. Now Redtiger did send this dash cam for me to review, but I can give you my fully honest opinion. Alright, and now I'm going to unbox all of this and basically show you all of the contents. So here's the dash cam. I think it actually is a really nice box considering it's a dash cam. Here's a little diagram just showing you the dash cam itself. Then you have your user manual and then a few other things. And now for the good part, here's the ViewClear 70 itself, along with the rear camera. Then you have the long cable that goes all the way from the front dash cam all the way to the rear to actually power it. And then here's the cable to actually power the main dash cam. And lastly, they sent me their hardwire kit. I'm going to actually be using this. That way I can have 24/7 parking protection. If anyone hits me or does anything stupid, I will know about it. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to actually install the dash cam, and I'll be showing you how to install it on this 2013 Lexus GX350. Now the installation method I'm going to show you pretty much applies to every car. Usually everything is kind of the same, so you still can follow along. Now there's two ways to do this. The easiest way is to take the cigarette plug that they include in the box and just plug it into a cigarette lighter port, which I do have one in my glove box, and I'm sure most of you do as well, or your glove box or somewhere down there. And that is the easiest way to power it, but you would have a wire running down, and I prefer the cleaner kind of OEM look. So I will be using this hardwire kit to actually hardwire the dash cam so I can have a more cleaner install and also get the added 24/7 parking protection. Here's what comes included in the hardwire kit. We're going to only need 2 fuses, and then this right here, which is what actually shows the battery voltage and also has the battery voltage cutoff to where if your battery gets too low, it automatically shuts off the dash cam. That way your battery never goes flat. So on most cars, you're gonna have a fuse box, at least in the driver's side or the passenger side. Sometimes there's even more. I do have one in the driver's side, but I'm going to be doing all this in the passenger side. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take off this door sill. Most cars have something like this here. Sometimes you can just pull it off easily. I'm gonna try to use a pry tool to get under this. It is kind of a two-handed job, but there's a bunch of clips under here, and it also clips to that stuff right there. And then eventually, it just kind of comes right out. So you can go ahead and set this to the side. Next, you need to remove this piece here. Now that that's off, to actually get to the fuse box, which is underneath here easier, kind of grabbing this plastic here and kind of pull it down. Be careful, there are some wires in here, and once again, this is specific to my 2013 Lexus GX350, but most cars are similar to this. They probably will have some of the same plastic trim pieces that you can take off. Now I just got this off, and the fuse box we will be tapping into is right here. I don't know if you can see that right there. So there's a little plastic cover here. Go ahead and take that off. And you're always going to see a diagram on here which shows the fuses. And now we need to find what fuses we can actually tap into. To do this test properly, you're probably going to need a multimeter. Now I already know what fuses to tap into, so I will not be needing a multimeter. What you need to do is go through here and test every one of these fuses actually in there and see which fuse always has power no matter what. And you're going to connect the yellow wire to that, and which fuse only has power when your actual accessories or engine is on. And that's where the red wire will come in place. And then lastly, you have the black wire, which is this ground wire here. Now in most cars, there's going to be a bolt here, which is where you can connect the ground wire. So all you have to do is unscrew this a little bit, then shove it in there and then tighten it and make sure it's really tight so it has a consistent ground. So thankfully the hardwire kit comes with so many different fuses. Now in Lexus and Toyota models, the fuses are really tiny. A lot of hardwire kits don't come with all of the fuses you need. Thankfully this one does, because it uses the literal smallest fuses possible. I don't know why they use such small fuses, but it comes with 2, which is great. So here's what it looks like. You basically take some pliers and you crimp the fuse to the actual wire that it comes with, and now you can tap your fuses. So I just got both the fuses connected. Hopefully you can see here my yellow wire, which is the 12-volt or battery wire, is in the very front there, right there. And then my red accessory wire is kind of in the back there. Now obviously this is different with your car, so you have to do that multimeter test or just kind of look it up. And lastly, we have the ground wire, which I've already loosened this bolt up, as you can see. Now I have the ground wire connected. Now this bolt is connected to plastic, but behind that is this metal, so that's why I'm able to use this as ground. So make sure whatever bolt you're using is actually connected to metal, because it has to be in order to work for ground. So next would be mounting this wherever you want. I'm just kind of going to mount it underneath, or I can literally shove it under here. It doesn't really matter, but just make sure if you really want to, you can access this switch. That way you can control the voltage before the camera shuts off. The next step I'm going to do is test the dash cam just to make sure everything actually works before I go ahead and put all this back. So I plugged it into the hardwire kit. I'm going to put my car in accessories mode and see if the dash cam turns on. All right, so when I was testing that, I made a mistake. I don't know why, but I completely forgot that I needed another fuse in here. It comes with a 15 amp fuse, so I went ahead and bought these from Walmart, and I'm just gonna put two 10 amp fuses in there. So now when I reinstall both of these, it should actually work. All right, so I just connected it back, and now I know it's working because this is reading the battery voltage, and it says 12.5 volts. There we go. The dash cam works. So now that we know it works, we need to run the dash cam power wire through the A-pillar into the headliner up there and to wherever you want to mount it. I already have my A-pillar cracked here now, and every car it's different. This one is really complicated. You have to like twist this stupid clip, but in most cars this just pops right off. Now I have my A-pillar off, as you can see here. Now what I'm about to say is extremely important. So here's the curtain airbag. Most modern cars will have this, and here is the factory wiring harness that goes all the way down here. What you're going to want to do is make sure when you actually route the wire, you are not covering this up by any means, because if you were to get in an accident and a wire was over this, the airbag would not deploy properly. Now I have the wire routed here. It goes all the way down here. Like I said, do not cover the airbag. I just taped it to the actual factory wiring harness, so there's no way it's going to get in the way. And it comes all the way down here. It goes through this. I had a hard time shoving it behind all of this, but I really want to make sure it does not interfere with anything. And it comes out right here at the bottom, and then I will just simply tuck all of this under there when I'm done. And now that we're here in the headliner, you don't even really need this plastic tool here, but you can use it if you need to. Just tuck this all the way under here as seamlessly as you possibly can, and wherever you want to mount the dash cam, make sure there's enough slack to be able to do that. All right, so since I wanted the cleanest install possible, I spent a lot of time tucking it in here. You literally would have no idea there's a wire. So right now it comes out of the headliner right here, and I'm thinking about mounting my dash cam kind of like this, so it's gonna look like this. That way I can still use it, and that way it's not kind of like hanging right here. And one other thing you need to do is mount the rear camera wire. So basically just do the exact same thing we did with the power wire and route it all the way up here and through the headliner. Here they are both coming out. There's the rear camera wire right there, and then here's the power wire. I don't have it plugged in yet. And now that you've done that and you've routed the power and rear wire through everything, and once again I taped both of them here so it does not get in the way of the airbag. Now you can go ahead and put your A-pillar trim back and even put this trim back. Now I'm still going to leave this little door sill off. We're just going to take this rear cable and tuck it underneath all of this. You're also going to tuck it underneath the B-pillar plastic here. You don't actually need to take this off because you can easily get between the carpet there. And then on the rear, once again, you're just going to remove this here. Let's see if I can do it on camera. Then you're also, on my car, I'm going to remove this as well. All right, so I just routed the wire. As you can see, it's right here. I kind of tucked it in these little carpet clips. It goes right underneath there. Then it comes out right here in the rear. Goes all the way up here. I touch it behind this wire. There it is, going all the way up here. Now, once again, on my car, it's probably similar to yours if you have a sedan. I'm gonna pop this out a little bit. I don't need to take it off like I did in the front, just enough to where I can get in this seam and then go on the headliner and actually get it in the center. I don't know if you can see, but I did route the wire in here. I popped this off, obviously, and it goes all the way up on the headliner, and it's right there in the center. All right, so now I got the rear dash camera mounted. I did have to mount it a little bit lower because I do have a rear sunshade that I still wanted to be able to use. Before, if I mounted it all the way up here, it would kind of hit it a little bit. Now, since it's in the center, it doesn't. It is a little uglier because the wire's there, but I never look back here anyway since I have a reverse camera. So now the last step is to put everything back. I've already put this back. So go ahead and put the two door sills back, that one and the other one. And now you are done installing your dash camera. And now let's look at some day and night footage. So first we have the daytime footage. Now the ViewClear 70 has dual Sony Starvis 2 sensors. That is 4K in the front and 2.5K in the rear. And the Sony Starvis 2 is basically what every single 2025 flagship dash cam has. And they both do support HDR, which is why the clouds and nothing is overexposed. So in this clip, you can see some glare on the windshield of my dashboard reflecting in the sun. Now Redtiger does sell a polarizer lens to actually fix that. I do not have that, but if you did, it would completely remove that glare. And here you can see how easily it can read the license plates. Here's another test, and in this one we are moving, and you can still easily read that license plate. Now if you were to pause this and upscale it, it would be even better. And here is some of the rear footage in daylight. Now, like I said, this is 2.5K, and just to note, that line in the middle is not actually the camera. It is just one of the heater lines that heat your rear windshield if it's cold outside. Now, another thing to note, even though it's hard to tell, this rear footage is reversed horizontally. Now, that is my fault. Now, thankfully though, in the settings, there is a toggle for you to reverse the rear footage or mirror it. That way you can read license plates, street signs, or whatever. Now we're going to do a test of the onboard audio on the ViewClear 70. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Alright, so now for the night footage. Now this is the front camera. Now I'm starting this off in a really dark environment so you can see how well it actually captures light. Here we are rolling up to a red light, and you'll be able to see how well it captures license plates when it's dark outside, and that is because of the Sony Starburst 2 sensors and the HDR. With a lot of other dash cams, you would not be able to read the license plates at all since they are reflective. It would just be a big blob of light, but because of the HDR, you can read them very, very easily. Here is some of the rear footage. Now it is definitely darker than the front, but my rear windshield is very heavily tinted. My front windshield has actually no tint on it, but despite that, you can still see plenty of information, and this would be just enough if you were to unfortunately get rear-ended. And this dash cam is also super easy to use. You can easily swipe left or right to change between camera views. You can access the settings. See how easy it is to scroll. I mean, honestly, the software on here is super professional and nice in my opinion. A lot of dash cams are really outdated. This is not. You can adjust your resolution. I obviously have mine on the max. Literally, there are so many settings on here to make it exactly how you want it. Now I'm going to show you how to connect the dash cam to the mobile app. That way you can easily transfer files over. So first on the dash cam, go to settings right here. Then where it says Wi-Fi, click on that. And on the app, click the little plus icon. Click I know. Then after the Wi-Fi is turned on the dash cam, you will actually see Redtiger show up here. So go ahead and click that and connect. And now that I have it connected, I see the ViewClear 70 here. So I can click on this and view the actual dash cam. I can switch between views. And most importantly, the whole reason you would probably connect it to the app is so you can actually view your files. So here's all the files I have. I can go ahead and click on any of these, view it, and download it. And this is really useful because if you ever unfortunately do get in an accident, you can open your app, connect to the Wi-Fi real fast, and download your footage and show it to the police immediately. Now here is the parking mode. Now this does record both front and rear. I have mine set to do a 12-hour time-lapse recording. You can also set this to do 24-hour or even 48-hour, or you can make it start recording based off of a G trigger recording, which means if it detects anything like hitting your car, it will immediately start to record. Now this obviously only works when you install the dash cam with the hardwire kit, and if you're worried about it draining your battery, don't worry. As I already mentioned in the video, you can have it stop recording the second the battery gets below a voltage that you pick. And surprisingly, you can actually use voice control, which I think is pretty cool in case you don't want to touch it. Show front camera. Show rear camera. Take picture. Alright, so in conclusion, I really do actually like the Redtiger ViewClear 70. The only thing is I kind of wish it had a cabin camera, but that's why they have the F17 Elite. And Redtiger does have so many other dash cams, so literally anything you could want, they definitely would have it. Now, if you liked what you saw in this video, and if you do actually want the dash cam, I do have an affiliate link in the description, and that does give me a little commission. So if you do want the dash cam, please consider using my link as it does help the channel out. So if you stay till the end, you're a real one, and I appreciate you watching.